Folks, it's Speed Bump. Mario versus Wario. I don't remember doing this, but people are saying that we did. A couple people.
Yeah, I had a vague recollection of us having done this one already, but I was in the mood for it the other day. I was browsing Twitter and saw some one of those Twitter accounts I follow that post promotional materials, and I found they posted all the promotional materials from Mario and Wario. I was like, man, I love that game. We should do it for Speed Bump again.
Yep, I don't see anything wrong with that.
I enjoy this game a lot. I'm gonna let them know that they're good to play whatever speed they'd like to.
Sure. I'm ready whenever they want to start. Everyone's signed in. Everyone's good. We got 1 hour on the clock.
All right, gave them the countdown. Yeah, this game's miserably unfun to play on actual hardware. None of the SNES mice, either the original one or even like the Hyperkin laser or optical mouse that they made more recently, none of them are really precise enough to play this game very well. They all just kind of feel bad to play. But playing this on emulator is really nice. It's a very good game. The general premise is that whichever character you chose has a bucket on their head, and they're just going to keep walking, and you interact with them with the little fairy. That's your cursor. You can use it to interact with things on the stage. So like on these stages, you build the blocks or you make them disappear again. And you can also click on the character. So like if you click on Mario, face different directions, things like that.
Oh.
And you're just trying to get him to the goal, which is always Luigi. Seems like our players have all chosen Mario, unless you've just got the same feed mirrored 5 times.
I don't think I do.
I think it's a real gamble to pick a really fast character like Yoshi. Yoshi is quite fast, and if you feel like you can discern what's going on in the puzzle quickly enough, then Yoshi rules, obviously. But it seems like everyone's gone for the slightly safer choice of Mario, and I don't blame them. Playing as Yoshi is a little bit challenging. If one of our players were to like game over, like lose all their lives on a single world and have to start the world over, and they felt confident that they remembered what they needed to do on each level, I wouldn't be surprised to see them choose to play Yoshi on kind of a revisit.
There's not a whole lot of mouse games on the SNES.
No, and the ones that do exist aren't very good to begin with, so I think this one's a real special treat because it's like a actually good video game with the SNES mouse.
Yeah, like it's just Mario Paint. It's just, that one's really good. It's got an animator in it. I don't know if people are aware. It's not just the bug game and the music editor and the paint. It's got an animation maker. You can make a 16-frame animation and then put your music over top of it. You can make a little movie. I don't know of any, like this is the only action game I don't think I've ever seen any other ones.
Mario Paint's good, but like the only game that's in it is Nat Attack.
Yeah, and that's a good game.
It is a good game. I've played my fair share of Nat Attack. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's in WarioWare though at this point, so get it in the
Yeah,
proper place.
I imagine the SNES Lemmings probably did use it. Saturn's probably correct. Maybe the SNES King Arthur's World.
Hey, listen, if The Hobbit can run 5 players, then anything can happen.
Did humans use the mouse on SNES? Have you ever played that game, Smite?
No.
It was kind of like a really whack...
I think I played it for 15 minutes. It's a joke.
Yeah, it's like a whack Lemmings-ish kind of game. Wikipedia says Lemmings 2 did. So everyone making pretty good progress. Dude is here on 110, as is Saxy Assassin. I think Patty B's didn't realize he would need a mouse setup, so I think he opted to decline. So you might be able to rearrange the feeds.
Yeah. Sounds like they might come back.
Okay.
These coins do something?
You might get extra lives for them. I don't remember offhand what the value of the coins are. It would have to either be lives or time bonus. I guess score as well, yeah.
Score, what's that? We're going by
Nothing
level.
we care about.
Yeah, we're going by level for score, right? We're just gonna be like level 21
yeah.
is 2-1 here.
Right. It does seem like Digi decided to take a shot at using Yoshi. I don't think it's unmanageably fast, but you do have to be really decisive in order to make Yoshi work.
They made it, but they had to turn around a couple times.
The mechanically frustrating thing about this game, which is, like, it's such a small thing, but it feels kind of bad to play because of it, is that the fairy on screen is like an object on screen, and so when the screen is scrolling, like right now, if you look on Digi's screen, you know, the camera's moving around because Yoshi's walking around or going up a ladder. It doesn't lock to the location on the screen. It only kind of like keeps up with the screen if it touches the edges. And so that can be a little bit kind of tricky to get your bearings.
Yeah. You were playing...
At least I find it tricky.
You were playing Tactics recently, and so I wanted to tell you about the new Tactics Ogre having a mouse feature I've never seen in my life. Out of hand, diabolical. Um, so you have the same kind of cursor. That game is made by the same people who made Final Fantasy Tactics. I don't know about the new version, but you have the same like pointer finger that you point. You point at the little archer and you say, "Hey, this is my man. I want them to shoot their bow." Right? And then they do that. You point at them.
Right.
So that game lets you grab the pointer arrow with a second hand and drag it to above the arrow guy, and you can point at them that way with a second mouse.
What?
Yeah, another hand shows up and you grab the pointer hand and you drag it to where it's pointing, and then you tell it to point if you want, or you can just play it like a normal person.
That's very strange. Can
Mouse
you tell
based.
by looking at Digi's feed if he's playing on hardware? His feed kind of looks like a capture card. Which I only point out because I think it's wild that anyone would play this game with an actual SNES mouse. Players are doing pretty well. Both Sexy Assassin and Dude have been making really consistent progress. I think it seems to me at a glance that Yoshi has been a challenge for Digi.
Where did this egg come from? Why can't they take off the egg? They can.
Not allowed to remove it.
It's Luigi's fault?
That Luigi's willing to help them, though.
I'm just trying to understand the premise here of the conflict.
They got an egg stuck on their head.
But when they fall, it clearly is loose. This is not too stuck.
It's a big egg.
I can't call them lazy because all this marching around, they're getting more steps in than I got today, and I went for a hike.
Luigi's just a good brother. He just wants to help his brother out.
I got no problem with Luigi. I was playing him in Smash. He's got the best win animations I've ever seen in any fighting game.
Unfortunately, that's the only good part of Luigi.
Yeah. It was really hard to win with him. But when I did, bang bang, I got my finger guns. I got my planking Luigi.
If you're enough of a sicko to willingly pick Luigi, then you deserve the win when you do occasionally get it. Bit of a slow road here that Dude has chosen to get to the end. Going all the way over there for the star, but unfortunately that means he'll have to break a lot more of these blocks. I think the story is something like this was Wario's doing, like getting something stuck on the character's head. I don't remember exactly though.
Well, Wario did it, but why? Why is he so? Is he just littering, or did he do it on purpose?
He's kind of, you know, just causing problems on purpose. He sees an opportunity for chaos and he takes it. The bucket is a mind control device. Okay. These early levels here are obviously just to like teach the mechanics, but the puzzles get really, really nasty later in the game. So we've got Saxy on 210, who has made the most progress. Dude is trying to save himself some time by just dropping Mario directly down to the final platform, but man, that's tough. You gotta be fast.
Seems like sometimes he just doesn't hear the donk, or he's got some iframes against turning around. Our players don't care about their score, they don't care about these stars, which are achievement kind of puzzly stars, so they can just turn them around whenever on a lot of these stages and try and run through them faster.
It's mostly just about making progress. The only real risk our players face in this race, Saxy, by the way, finishing World 2, the only risk our players face is gaming over inside of a world. Once they get far enough, which they won't really in this race, I don't think, they could potentially lose some progress on the world that they were on. I think the last few worlds, if you game over, you have to start the world over, but that's not the case for like the first 8 worlds. No, this game's very challenging to like get the clicking right. That's what I was kind of hinting at before when I was saying I can't imagine someone playing this on hardware. None of the SNES mice are accurate enough to make this game feel good to play. It feels unpleasant to play on pretty much anything other than emulator. But I do think once you play it on emulator, it's fantastic. See, like right here, for instance, where dude was like falling down the screen, if the fairy had tracked the camera rather than being an object on screen, it would have been very easy to just time pressing the button at the right time. But since you have to like manually move it into place, it becomes a little bit difficult. I haven't had good experience with the SNES Hyperkin optical mouse, but your mileage may vary.
I'm looking for the mouse thing I was talking about.
Once upon a time, all mice were that bad and we didn't know any better. That's true. right? Like if you played this on the Super Nintendo in that era, you'd probably be like, yeah, this is fine. This is fine and good and normal.
I don't know. I mean, it is from the era where you had to clean the ball mouse. You had to unscrew the back of your mouse and give it a polish because it got filled with hair um, before lasers. And I didn't mind doing that. That was fun, but never has a mouse like that ever been better than the most basic of laser mice. I remember Razer trying to make gamer mice that still had the ball in it, and they had like Vitality, and there's other guys on the box, the big
Wait,
gamers.
really? Like
Yeah.
when are you when was it? Like recently they tried to make ball
No,
mice a thing
this
again?
was like the last era of ball mice, and they were charging like $60 for the gamer mice. And on the box would be the famous gamers of the 90s. It just it's super bad. It didn't hold up. Didn't have the stuff. Anyway, I found this for you. So that's a picture of somebody's mouse grabbing the mouse arrow, which points at that yellow square.
That's so ridiculous.
And then when the yellow square is highlighting your character, you can remove the second mouse and go back to the single mouse. And you can do that instead of, I don't know, that it's faster. I guess the second mouse moves a little quicker, so you can get there faster if you're speed running the mice. Pretty wild. I'm gonna talk about old mice all day. You wanna go back to ball mice? What's the best one that was ever made?
I don't know. At the time I was not much of a gamer back when ball mice were a thing. I wasn't playing games that demanded much of me. I never got into like Quake.
I think maybe it was
Y'all
called
weren't
the Razor
sickos
Boom
in playing.
Sling.
Wait, y'all weren't sickos in playing Quake with just arrow keys, right?
Sure we were. WSID? What the hell?
No, but I mean like, it had mouse look originally, right?
Yeah. Quake 3 did. That's the one I played.
Okay.
I see
I know
Razor Ball
that
mice here.
I know
Boom
that
Sling.
originally people played Doom with just arrow keys, and now we have the luxury of mouse look because that's what everyone's used to. But I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
saying, like
Well,
Quake
Doom,
always had mouse look, right?
I think so. Doom 1 had, you couldn't look up and down. It just kind
Right.
of worked. But I think that, I never really played Quake 1 or 2. Quake 3 was the really competitive one where it was literally nothing but an arena and you just kill the other players. And it's just you go online and you do that. And, yeah, I mean, people who took that seriously had configs that they would pass around, optimizing their settings, and they would turn everyone to the big dude because he's the easiest to see, and he would make a lot of noise. The tier of Quake 3 player is the person who knows what gun you have by the audio of the clip it's playing when it's just sitting around idle. Because the lightning gun has a hum to it. And those people needed the best ball mouse that there was. I feel like laser mice were just coming out in the early 2000s. I would love to get some Quake going as a group event someday. You know what I was talking about the other day is MOBAs that didn't succeed. I would love to play one of those, get a community event going, and we could play Demigods or one of the other ones that did not take off during the era of what if we all made MOBAs for a while, gaming.
I've never played a single MOBA.
Oh, they're really, really good, but their communities obviously are the most toxic things on Earth.
Yeah.
And the
I mean,
learning
that's
curve
why
is
I don't
insane.
play those, and that's why it took me 5 years to play Undertale.
Yeah. Like, I played Dota when it was fresh on Warcraft 3 as a map that had no, like... Eventually they had a community-based, like, algorithm where you would rank and you would have people your own tier. but until then it was completely random. It was just the Warcraft 3 map, and you'd be like pros only, and that would be the best you could do, and you couldn't get anyone your level. Like, it was hopeless. I played that all the time.
That's funny.
But there are some seriously unsuccessful MOBAs that just kind of failed immediately during before battle royales. It was MOBAs, just everyone was making those all the time. So there's like 20 of those. It would be fun to grab one that is just like freeware or whatever at this point, and just see if I could get 10 people to play and see how we do with no one knowing how this game works at all. The basic formula is the same, and that's it.
Saxy Assassin is making like ridiculously consistent progress. I keep watching Saxy and not really getting stuck on any levels. I don't think that the early levels are hard, but some of them can be a little bit labyrinthian, and like just consistently figuring out the path through it. I would not be shocked if at the end Saxy's like, yeah, I've played this whole bunch.
World 3. Accessed by everybody here.
Yep.
And yeah, Saxy
we got everyone on
7.
Yeah, we got everyone on World 3.
Do they
Saxy
get to choose a stage?
What do you mean?
I saw the stage select was like a big grid.
Yeah, they can pick whatever. They're all doing the thing that I didn't say explicitly, but I would have asked them to if I had thought about it, which is play the levels in order. You do have to beat them all in order to access the last worlds 9 and 10. I think? I'm pretty sure you do.
Yeah, the reason MOBAs are toxic is it's definitely related to the. I mean, people are just nasty sometimes, but it's definitely related to the genre. It's a long commitment to put an hour in, and it is a hard game to get back from when you start to lose. You always can, pretty much, even in the most dire of circumstances in those games. But you have to kind of pull something off if you've been losing. It snowballs pretty hard. So they just sit there and rage about who caused their loss when they start losing. They just blame each other, and it gets pretty gross if you don't know everybody in the game. If you do ever play something like that, I would just recommend bringing at least an entire team of 5 people, if not all 10. Ideally, all 10 players would be friends, and then maybe you would have only 1% of the toxicity.
So you're saying even if I know everyone in the group, they're still going to be a little bit toxic?
It's going to be like Mario Party violence instead of just Dota level of violence. It's going to be a little better if you know everybody.
Just feels like there's no way to avoid the toxicity.
It's just a very competitive game with a huge skill ceiling and a lot to learn, and people will blame each other for the loss pretty easily. It's also a game of like supporting classes and tanks and assassins and stuff, and
no one wants to play the boring classes.
Well, it's not really that. It's more like that person is very likely to catch the blame because you look at the scoreboard and this person who literally can't kill people without some kind of crazy thing happening is like 0 and 3. Are they at fault? Not really, not necessarily. There's a lot to the game, and people definitely have the Dunning-Kruger going on where they think they're better at it than they are, and an announcer could watch it and tell you who actually is losing, and it's kind of hard to say who is when you're in the mix.
Saxy, I kind of cursed Saxy a little bit, saying how consistently he was making progress, because he slowed down a bit, and so Dude has now caught him.
Yeah.
Both Dude and Saxy are on 3-9. These stages are pretty involved. It's a lot of like figuring out which bounce pad gets you to which platform and making sure you have all the timed blocks set up in the right way. I think the timed blocks are probably one of the more frustrating elements as well, so... And with that, we have a lead change. Dude has overtaken into the lead.
Yeah. 310.
Whose audio we're listening to right now.
Yes.
This is one of those nightmare.
What is this? Yeah.
This is one of those nightmare stages where it just kind of expects you to like figure out what platforms you want to be on in advance.
Come on, Mario. Okay, you want to go left and then back up, is that right?
I think it's something like that, yeah. I think he's trying to climb on the left-hand side, which is, I believe, correct.
I didn't realize that they upgraded from the egg to the barrel in terms of,
Yeah, each world has like a different thing that's stuck on your head.
Incredible. They keep falling for it. Wario's having the easiest time of his life. Oh wow, you gotta catch him? Or are they trying to shortcut here?
No, they're... Oh no. Okay.
There it is.
They need to land on the top block, but again, the problem goes back to the fact that the fairy, the cursor, is not screen locked. So when the block scrolls off of the screen, the fairy gets dragged down. So you have to like move it up into place as you're flying up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's kind of gross. If the fairy were locked to the viewport, I think this game would actually be a lot easier in some ways. It would make it harder to hit certain types of things, but it would be a lot easier to set up some of these challenges that it does.
Well, the modern gaming solution for this would be to have let it go off screen and just point when it's off screen with a growing arrow on how far away it is. And then you could have it be wherever the hell you want, and you would know where it is at all times.
Hey.
"4-4 with Dude. Well, World 4 anyway. A pipe! That seems less problematic for Mario. He's loving this.
He's used to this. He's just come out the other side.
He's got a big grin on his face. Looks like Mario's the winner this time.
Both Tarragon and Saxy are trying to make sense of 310. They're taking the opportunity to do exactly what they should be doing at the beginning of pretty much every level, which is like looking around and figuring out where things are. Yeah, if we were doing a score challenge, there might be some benefit to them going around and making sure they collect all the stars, because each stage has, I think, 4 stars that require, some challenge to get, and then, coins and things like that, trying to maximize their time, perhaps. But we're getting them through as quickly as possible. So some of these stages where you can get to the goal almost instantly, but if you deviate, you'll find all the stars. You don't really have to worry about that here. So some of these levels can be very straightforward. if dude is anything like me, he's probably very much enjoying this world so far because no more of those timed blocks that I hate.
Yeah, those are gross. They last 2 seconds after you turn them on. I've been watching them.
Yeah, they're very annoying. When it's just like build one small platform with them, it's fine. But when the blocks are either very small or you're expected to do something really quickly, they're super tedious.
Yeah. Anyway, back to MOBAs.
Literally the only thing that matters.
Yeah, you better know all 130 heroes or whatever, and all
I
600
simply would not
items.
play a game that had 130 heroes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, the
I
other
already
team
thought Team
insults
Fortress
you,
2 was too much for having 9 characters.
while the enemy team will insult you for picking the wrong one during the... because this matters so much. It's such a big... There's an item in game, at least in Dota, that does something different for every single character too, so you better know all that as well. Yeah, you also better know each character because you'll be fighting against them. You gotta know their moves. It's important data, Author Blues. This is why it's such a hardcore game.
Yes, that's why I should care about people who are really into MOBAs.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like what you like. If people are into those games, like, go wild, but man, it seems like a lot, and the communities seem real bad.
They couldn't be worse. I've never seen a worse one. World of Warcraft was pretty bad when I was playing it. I don't know what it's like now. Final Fantasy XIV, on the other hand, I was pleasantly surprised it was not. I love a good high skill ceiling game. FTL is a great example of one that is single player that I like. Into the Breach, boy howdy, yeah.
I've heard of that game. That one doesn't sound very good.
You should play it. Not so good. What awful game should I wager so that you'll play Into the Breach?
I mean, I can't saddle you with La Milana. That's my usual go-to.
Yeah, that's too bad. I wish I could go back and try that again with like 5 hints on hand. Just 5 hints would do it, and then I would have the greatest time of my life.
You play La Milana Classic.
Maybe. I beat this first one again recently, like last year. I think the second one's probably vague enough to me that I probably would be starting pretty fresh. I got
Every
stuck
time
in
I
that
replay
game.
La Milana 2, I remember so little of it that it's almost like playing it for the first time again.
I got stuck on one thing that I thought was not fair. It was the statue that I had to break in some area.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, just one little... Everything else was fair. It was as soon as I broke that statue, I unlocked the entire game, and I started cruising, but there was just like one little golden statue that I was supposed to throw a spear at or something that was out of reach. And I never did that, because it didn't look like it was destructible. And there was no one ever said anything about it. That was the only time La Milana 2 I thought was really good about fairness. Let's do an LP. You ready for that LP off the blues?
I'm ready. You hit me up.
Yep. Let me get my new computer built first. Be the first project. Would y'all enjoy seeing a 2-person LP, comprehensive with associated hints and such of La Milana 1 and 2? I'm thinking if we solve a puzzle, we pop up on screen what the hint was for that puzzle, or all the hints that we think are associated with that puzzle, where you're supposed to figure this out.
Oh, I know exactly what hints correspond to what.
Yeah. I have a pretty good idea.
That stupid rock in La Milana 2.
I think La Milana 2, actually, the problem I had with it was the chakra thing, the chance, whatever it's called. They
Yeah.
really liked that a little too much.
Yep, they went really hard on mantras.
Yeah, that's it. Mantra. That's the word. I'm looking for.
Everything became a mantra, and as soon as Naramura decided that it was possible to make you chant more than one mantra at the same time, that became every puzzle in the game. I mean, I respect it, don't get me wrong, but... Only about 20 minutes left in this race. Our players have made pretty good progress. I think they've already gotten a little further than I would have expected by this point. I think we'll see players probably get through World 5. That's maybe my guess. Yeah, we had a big conversation about this on my Discord like 2 days ago, and it seems to be fairly consistent that most people, maybe it's like a self-selection that it's people who follow me, but most of the people who were talking about it really seem to prefer Lamalana 1 to 2.
I don't think I do, but it's because I got stuck on a, I think, poorly translated puzzle for 50 hours of my 100 hours. I gotta tell you, if La Milana 1, if that didn't have that one puzzle at all, and it only took me 40 hours to beat, that would have been my favorite game of all time, probably. But that 50 hours where I was just running around with no idea what to do, you know, the whole game basically is open, and I'm just running around looking for something, and I refuse to take any hints at all.
There were a few puzzles in La Milana 1 that were harmed by a weak translation, if not an outright incorrect translation. There's only a few translations in La Milana 1 that I'd say are like outright wrong, like they present the information totally incorrectly, but a lot of them are nearly useless.
I thought a lot of the puzzles had good multiple solutions and stuff. I learned the language so that I could, I mean, it was a simple replacement cipher. It's just, I could read La Milanese by the end of the game way before I got the language translator. I could just read it. I didn't need that stuff. Who you messing with here? I'm just gonna translate that and memorize the whole thing, so if it pops up, I don't need to come back to read this hint later. I've got it. I know what that says. Four -5 is clear. We have 2 other players working on it.
Yeah, dude has held on to his lead, but I mean, it's not necessarily the case that he's going to keep it for sure. Everyone's right on his heels. I think we're going to see at least 3 of our players finishing World 4. I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see someone complete World 5, but that might be a bit of a stretch at this point.
-6. It's a pretty close race.
And before anyone catches him, dude moves on to 4-7.
Saxy's in there.
Wario just looks across the spike pit. My brother, so close.
I didn't know those bats killed you. I guess I haven't noticed that. But you don't have any.
Yeah, there's like 4 of them stacked up, so you have to like click each one of them to get them to go away.
When's Lama Lana 3 coming out?
Well, probably never.
Damn.
But they did announce just the name of another game that they're working on called Amkara, which seems like it's going to have kind of a similar bent to it. And also they got funding from the Konami Creator Fund to do a HD remaster, HD remake of Maze Gallius, which is the game that inspired Lama Lana. Which is a similar-ish game, so...
What do you even call that genre? Are there other ones in it? It's just two.
I mean, it's... The real answer is that it's a search action puzzle game, but I don't know. I've got friends who have called it Gallius Troids because it's like a Metroidvania, but there's like a style that comes from Maze of Gallius. Games for Jerks is not an unreasonable name for that genre, yeah.
Tarragon's having trouble with the bats at the end of 4-5.
Yeah, they keep sneaking up, and there are so many stacked on top of each other that if you want to kill them before they really come down, you've got to really click pretty fast.
Games for Jerks, what the... Author Blues, I feel pretty confident that you have snuck into somebody you don't know playing Lama Lana 1 and they're about to fight that mini-boss that kills you if you move towards it when it's dead, the Crusher Trap, and you just have a big grin on your face, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're just like, yeah, here it comes, yeah, this is the stuff.
There are a small group of people that if I ever just like look up Lama Lana, and I look up like random Lama Lana streams to watch them, and there's like a group of people who are in all of those. And it's just funny to see these people in every one of those streams because you know, no one spoils anything. It's just like this shared fun experience watching people experience it for the first time because it's definitely a game for jerks.
You're kind of like the dead skeletons from the game watching the dude play through it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Trying to get the jump on the bats. Oh, nice. They turned Mario around. That's gonna do it. 4-5 finally beat by Tarragon.
That raw Mulana experience. Minimat, please don't type that. Only about 15 minutes to go, but our players are making pretty good progress. Even Digi, who did get hung up for a little while on World 3, sort of expectedly because the time blocks suck, has really kind of put the pedal to the floor on World 4 and is like pretty quickly moving through stuff. Saxy is taking the lead again at 410.
So many bats up there at the end.
You just got click better. It just feels good to know that every time someone finally beats Chiyu for the first time that they will get crushed, and like it just, oh no, it makes you remember the time you got crushed when you beat Chiyu for the first time, and you think, yeah, that's right.
I don't remember if I got crushed or not. I probably did.
Oh, you 100% got crushed. I don't even remember seeing that part of your playthrough. You got crushed.
Which boss is that? Is that the one up in the Eden?
Yeah. That's the guy that's underneath the thing, and when you kill him, it opens the chest and then immediately drops the ceiling on you.
I feel like I knew it was coming, but I still got caught by it somehow.
That doesn't surprise me. Sometimes, like, when you recognize that you're gonna get trolled by something, sometimes you just like, I'm just gonna let it happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that was throwing me off because it's an indie game and it looks like an SNES game, and an SNES game cannot get away with moving whole things like that onto you, like especially during the escape. Like things are falling apart in ways that a SNES could never do, and I'm like, I can't dodge this. Four 10, game over. Oh no.
So they should just be able to resume from 410.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be the end of the world here, but I think it's only in worlds 9 and 10, which are the end game worlds, that you do not keep your progress.
I'm pretty sure I died to the Palanque fight like 6 times before I figured out what the hell they were looking for. And then I died 10 more times to a ridiculous boss fight. It's just out of hand. Digi has beaten the bats of 4-5. The last obstacle. Saxy could not catch that bat in time. It's so hard to climb that ladder and get them.
Yeah, you gotta be prepared for them. It's basically just one on either side that you have to make sure you get. I think if I were in Saxy's position, I'd try to get the one on the left first, just because it seems like it's a little closer and it's not given as much wiggle room. It depends on what you're asking for with a similar type of La Mulana experience. I mean, there's lots of games where it's, you know, like a knowledge, understanding-based game that once you've kind of figured it out, you're not going to be able to replay it. Games like Oberdin, Curse of the Golden Idol, Tunic, come to mind. Those kind of games. No, Zorn, we're just playing Mario and Wario. Our players have an hour, and it's just to see how far they get in 1 hour on Mario and Wario. We have been doing a lot of 3-game challenges lately, but today we're just playing Mario and Wario. Saxy and Dude both beating World 4 pretty much at the same time. I mean, 8 minutes left on the clock, and they're pretty much perfectly tied up. Games that give you nothing and then say, all right, go. Yeah, Outer Wilds is probably the best example of that. I mean, if you want to fire up an MSX emulator, you can always play Mesa Gallius. That one inspired La Mulana and is kind of that.
Time for Lava Zone. It's a very close game still. Seven minutes left to break the tie. Now we're dealing with Octo Rocks.
Are you talking about what's on his head?
No, I'm talking about the Spitter Boy. His Octo Rock behavior.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's just like a little gunner that mounts to either a wall or a ceiling and shoots in that direction. Our players have about 6 minutes left, and they are pretty close to one another. The level Saxy's on the core conceit here is using those timed blocks to block the shots from the gunners. Because for some reason the giant metal pot on Mario's head is not enough to block a small fireball.
They are neck and neck. 5-3. Digi is not too far behind World 4 ending either. These damn bats. The worst. That's the meanest thing to put in this.
The bats seem like they'd ultimately be fine, but they're too low. Like they're... Like by the time they've left the ceiling, you're already dead.
Digi is trying to solve the puzzle here of how do you get them to not go that high up. And I didn't see the solution to this. Is there a way to keep Yoshi from climbing the ladder?
Nope. Once he touches the ladder, he's gonna ride it all the way to the top.
And then he jumps that far up and Digi's back in the loop here. Maybe they need to get rid of those blocks. Oh no. They're gonna run out of time.
I think Digi finally figured out where the loop breaks.
We're in gunner hell on 5-5. 2 players struggling with the same thing. So you're just on autopilot up this awful ladder through 3 gunners?
Yeah, you have to time getting on the ladder at the right time so that you don't get shot. I think you might be able to poke the enemies to, like, delay them shooting, but I might be wrong. Oh, you can click the fireballs to make the fireballs go away. I knew there was something you could do. Oh no. Did you accidentally clicked incorrectly and ended up turning Yoshi around? Yeah, that's dangerous. I think if you flip the block that Yoshi's standing on or click too close to him, one of those things is turning him around. Well, it looks like our race is going to end with 3 people on the same stage, so...
Yep, time is up. I mean, this is a pretty nasty one. I don't... Oh, man, the ending is even worse, maybe. Time is up. We have a 3-way tie. And Digi just finished 4-9, so they're on 4-10. They're losing by, like, the smallest amount here. It looks like if you're waiting for a tiebreaker, Dude is going to be the one to make it to 5-6.
Considering we're logging this as a score challenge, I'm not worried about breaking the tie. But yeah, different people got here at different times.
Yeah, I'm not sure who did, but we don't have that in our score thing. It's fine. It's just so we had, I don't know where Patty B's if they ever got their mouse working, but I don't think they did. So we just had the 4 people. Digi's on 50.
Yeah, Saxy got really close to finishing 5-5, but yeah, that's what we got.
Nice work. I don't remember seeing any of that. How long did we go before? Did we just do a little challenge of this? I wonder. I feel like I would remember a game so weird. You know what it is? It's weirder than this mouse cursor. No, it's not. Hey, thanks for joining me, Author Blues.
No, thank you.
For the race.
This was a lot of fun.
I'm gonna build my computer.
All right, we'll take it easy.
Yep. Have a good night. Folks, I'm gonna host over. I'm gonna start working on my machine here. So it's Proton John doing some Metroid Prime 2. That's a cool game. It's a cool streamer. Check that out. If there's any trouble, I'll still be online tomorrow probably, unless I just feel like finishing my computer or something. I don't think I'll have any trouble, but if I do, I can always load up my old computer. I have a lot of work to do, so I might not make it online tomorrow. I would be playing Final Fantasy 3 if I do, so at 8 p.m. Eastern, if I'm ready, I'll do that. If not, Wednesday I'll be on for sure. Either way, no matter what. I have electrostatic discharge wrist strap things because I'm a huge IT nerd and I've had it for 30 years almost. So don't worry about that. I've got that. It's more if the parts are faulty out the gate or something, or if I missed something. I don't think I did. Lots of people helped me review the build. Have a good night.